Hi, everyone. This is Laura from Attuned Yoga Wellness, and it is Monday, January 21st, 2019. And I don't know about you, but this has definitely been an interesting 24 hours for me. I don't know if you are feeling the potency of that moon. The moon has the power to pull the tides of the ocean, and we are ultimately made of water. And so I want you to acknowledge the reality of that pull, literally the science behind it. There is a physical shift that occurs when a potent moon like that is so close to the earth. And the reality is it was very close to the earth, closer, it still is closer than usual. And so I want you to notice that pull. This is a really great moment to restart, to recharge, to renew, to maybe shift a pattern of behavior, to shift the way you're taking action, to shift the way you are stepping into your reality, to step to the way you are engaging your day-to-day life. This is your life. It matters. It matters how you engage. It matters how you interact. And it matters what you do. Today's interesting for me in particular. I'm definitely less grounded than I usually am. I've been lightheaded and dizzy for the past, 24 hours, sort of on and off. And no, I'm not sick and I don't have vertigo. I feel absolutely fine. But what happens is at these times of, when the moon is potent like that, the air and space increases. And so when air and space increases, we're maybe a little bit more buoyant, we're a little more spacious, we're a little lighter, we are a little less grounded. We might even be a little more potentially able to access, more of ourselves. And so when there's this lightness, this airy quality, some of you walk around like this all the time. Some of you are primarily Vata, which in Ayurveda is the air and space elements. And, you're used to sort of walking around with your head in the clouds on some level. The thing about the walking around with our heads in the clouds, is that it creates an instability. It creates a disconnection. And we want to balance that opening and that air and space with some grounding, with some earth energy. Ideally, we're creating both of those things within ourselves so that we can feel supported and grounded, and then also inspired and open and available. So in moments when we feel anxious, which again, this is not necessarily a place that I'm particularly comfortable in, because it's not my norm. It's not where I move from. Like I wrote in the sidebar, it's usually for me, I'm usually really grounded. I'm pretty steady. If anything, my emotions go towards, anger and maybe frustration and maybe I'm a little volatile. But the whole concept of sort of being anxious and floaty is not really a thing for me. So what happens when the day shows up like this, when we feel like this? And again, some of you struggle with this on a daily basis. And so what are those things that you do for yourself that reconnect you, that recenter you, that reestablish that support system that you hold here in your body, your heart, and your mind? And every breath and every pause that we choose to take can reestablish that connection. There are also very specific things you can do to ground yourself. And, one of them this time of year in particular is look at what you're eating. If you're eating this like light, airy food, if you're eating things that are light and airy, the quality that it's going to create in your body is light and airy. So, I don't advise tons of, cold salads or, anything like light and flaky popcorn, crackers. Anything like that is going to create more lightness. It's going to create less grounding. So you want to think warm soups, stews, vegetables that are cooked, anything that's really going to ground you and nourish you, anything, root related, any root vegetable, carrots and beets and sweet potatoes, and, anything that is going to create that stability. So in these moments, like, that's great what we eat, but then what other things, what are your practices? Because for me, it's like, okay, I'm going to sit in meditation. I'm going to make sure I do all my Ayurvedic rituals, my tongue scraping, my oil pulling, my dry brushing. I'm probably going to make sure I do a practice, at some point today. I did take a walk. So, and the walk was grounding, and it connects you to the earth. I mean, it's too cold to walk around with bare feet, but in general, feeling your feet on the earth is going to connect you. And so anything you can do to create stability, to create grounding. Today, I pulled some cards, and, you know, every day I sort of pull from a different deck. And today I did the Animal Spirit deck, which I love. It's a beautiful deck. And I pulled the Hummingbird card. So, and I pulled it for this talk. So the Hummingbird card, it's an air card, of course, because, you know, air is up right now, right? We're sort of in the air. There's an airiness. There's a lightness to things. So this is a great time to create. What are you pulling down, and what are you pulling in from the ether? You know, what do you want to connect to? What's showing itself to you? Where are you going to focus your attention? How are you going to shift your behavior, your patterns? I'm just looking for this hummingbird thing so I can read it to you. In Native American medicine, the hummingbird is love. And so, you know, what do you love? What do you want to invite more of into your life? What can you really, truly connect to stabilize yourself and to add value to your daily experience? So the hummingbird is positive, enthusiastic, resourceful, that's it. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it has learned where to gather nectar, and it returns to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. This sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird, and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet, every moment worth savoring. All right, let's not be ridiculous. Not every moment in life is going to be sweet. That is unreasonable. But when in balance, this card is talking about, you know, being smart and curious and wanting to learn. And when it's out of balance, we get pushy, insistent, sharp. That would be more my tendency. And to bring into balance, maybe we want to take a class or learn something new. So the reality is the hummingbird is asking us to really look for where we're being nourished, where we can really sort of suck in the nectar of life. And not every single thing is going to give you that. But what are the things that can give you that? What are those things that you can really and truly connect to and savor? And when we look at those things, when we look into those places, then we start to add value. We start to create habits and patterns that are really serving us versus habits and patterns that are taking us out of ourselves, that are disconnecting us from ourselves, and maybe that are leading us down a path that we don't really want to go down, or maybe a path that is just completely out of alignment with our own heart. And so with that, let's sit for a few minutes and meditate. So can we find the connection to ourselves here in the moment of pause in our breath? And in those connections, can we look for the sweetness? Can we look for those places where we do want to really, you know, savor, and where we do really want to grow? And this really and truly is such a potent time to make any shifts. You'll notice throughout the year, I'll say that a lot, because really every moment is a potent time to make a shift, especially if you're inspired to do it. The only time that's hard to make a shift is when you just are flat out not interested. And then, you know, how do we inspire ourselves to want to move forward and to push our life in the direction we want to go in? All right, so feel your sitting bones root. Feel your inhale and your exhale move through your body. Feel the breath. Feel the rise and the fall of the breath. Feel the energy as it moves through you. And then check in. You know, what does your body feel like today? You know, maybe you're not feeling lightheaded and dizzy like I am. Good. What are you feeling? Where is your energy? Are there like flutters in your stomach? Is it in your solar plexus, that power center? Is it in your chest? Do you feel grounded? Do you feel connected to whatever you're sitting on in this moment? And if you haven't already closed your eyes, maybe start to invite yourself inside. Because very often the anxiety is coming from the external world. So when we shift our focus internally and we remind ourselves that we're okay, that our heart is beating, that we're breathing, that our bodies are hopefully operating in a way where we can function in the world without having to think too much. You know, we don't have to think about our organs doing their jobs. They're just doing what they do. So honoring the body, noticing and connecting to the systems that are at work that you don't really have to get involved in. And can you settle into that? Can you settle into that connection? And find that breath again and remind yourself, my heart is beating, I am breathing, my blood is being oxygenated, that blood is moving into my bones and into my tissue and into my brain. And there is a major support system at work here. And then breathe into that energetic component. You know, where do you feel maybe energy is stagnating? Where do you feel lightness? Where do you feel density, or even where do you feel like there's part of you that's maybe a little carved out? And as you breathe, can you fill it up? Can you fill up the torso with your breath? Can you imagine you're moving light down into your toes and out through your fingers and up through the crown of your head? And can you stay connected to your presence? So as much as that light moves out, that light is within. And so can you hold space for yourself here? Can you feel into that connection, the connection to your own potency? And then where are you placing yourself? Are you holding yourself? Are you supporting yourself? Are you empowering yourself? Are you giving away your power? Are you handing yourself over to something or someone else? Can you breathe in to your own sovereignty, this experience of being in a body? And then can you take hold of being in this body and what it means? And sometimes the qualities shift and change and churn, but you are still you, constantly growing and shifting and adapting and learning. And so can we breathe into this resource? And then are there things, can we take this moment to reflect, are there things that need to shift? It could be, I need to take better care of myself. It could be, I'm doing this one specific thing that's actually not working for me anymore. Could it be, I have to change my thinking around something? I also want to acknowledge that changing your thinking around something does require deep work. It's not just about changing your mind. So don't think that you can just decide something and then it shifts. Bless you, Rose. My dog sneezed. So breathing in to your body, breathing in to this vessel that is supporting your life and that you are supporting through your actions and the way you choose to engage it. And feel into the depth of your own presence here. Our choices, especially on those things that really affect our well-being, they matter. Can we acknowledge that? Can we acknowledge our power over those choices? We cannot choose everything, but there are certain things we absolutely can. And so being really clear in those moments when we can. Honor our abilities, our ability to align with our presence and do what is really and truly best in order to support this embodied experience. Feel the sitting bones root. Feel that rise up through the spine. Maybe you lengthen from the inside. And draw your hands into prayer in front of your heart. And this is the mudra of bringing the heart before the heart. And so within the hands, we place any intentions we're holding in our heart, acknowledging them, honoring them, and allowing them to take root. And then just gently bowing your head to your heart and to your body and to your mind and to everything that you hold here, to this resource that is so expansive. Namaste. I hope if you were feeling anxious or maybe overwhelmed from that moon, I hope, or whatever is happening in your life, I hope that helped. I think it helped me. I'll let you know in like 5 minutes. I hope you have a great, great day. And again, please let me know if there's anything you want me to discuss on here, or if there's a topic that you're interested in exploring. And this was actually not my planned topic for today. So the plan I did have for today, I'll get in another time this week. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.